Again, we live in a time when it is enormously important to be sensitive about ethnicity and race. We no longer say Eskimo, but instead Inuit, because that is what the members of that population prefer. This is very reasonable. Nor do we say Gypsy, but rather Romany. That's all very right and proper, and I'm always ready to be corrected if I call somebody by the wrong name in that way. The problem is that such respect does not appear to be reciprocal. That is to say, I am willing to be careful about what various ethnic groups wish to be described as, but my own chosen name for my ethnicity is being erased. I am an Anglo-Saxon, or Englishman, and very proud of it. My ancestors came from what is now Germany and Scandinavia after the collapse of the Roman Empire, and they settled in that part of Britain which we now call England. That's where the name England comes from. It is a contraction of Angleland. The first recorded use of the word English to describe those settlers was in around 580 AD. The Venerable Bede, an ecclesiastical historian of the Anglo-Saxon period, related how in the late 6th century Pope Gregory passed a market in Rome, where he noticed some beautiful children for sale. On inquiring their nationality, he was told that they were Angles, meaning that they came from what is now England. He made a very witty pun, saying, "Non Angli, sed Angeli," not Angles, but angels. It was after telling this anecdote that Bede began referring to the inhabitants of the southern part of Britain as English. The first recognition that the disparate collection of Saxons, Jutes, and so on, who had settled among the Romanised Britons, might actually have a national identity of their own. Curious that my own ethnic identity should be so closely bound up with the slave trade, but as victims of slavery rather than the wicked perpetrators. For many years English school children were taught stories like that about the Venerable Bede, and also learnt to draw maps showing how the Anglo-Saxons or English came into being, the migrations across the North Sea from what is now Denmark to the east coast of Britain. However, a few years ago it was decided that having such an identity was unacceptable and even racist, so efforts were launched to discourage the use of the term Anglo-Saxon and to replace it with words such as medieval. In the autumn, Nottingham University decided that their course Viking and Anglo-Saxon Studies should be renamed Viking and Early Medieval English Studies. The reason given was that the staff wished to undercut nationalist narratives and essentialist ideas about nationality. In other words, to prevent English men and women thinking of themselves as a particular identity and to stop them valuing their roots and origins. In the description to this video I give a link to a news item about this affair. Everybody else is able to be proud of their roots and origins, but not the English. That's racist. It's nationalist. As it happens, I know from a DNA test that my roots lie in the British Isles and also in Germany and Denmark. I am English and my heritage lies in Germany and Scandinavia. I am an Anglo-Saxon. I am not medieval. I say that, but I dare say there are those watching this video who think that I am medieval, at least in my attitudes and way of thinking. If Romans can be proud of their ethnicity and glory in their roots in India, and Iranians can be proud of their Aryan origins, name Iran is connected with Aryan, then I'm damned if I see why I shouldn't be proud of being an Anglo-Saxon through and through.